What would you say the biggest benefit from a professional or personal level of being in development would be?
For me, it is that. It is changing the built environment, doing so in a way that is conscious of what that looks like for the community, and gaining that input to where at the end of the day, everyone feels good about it.
Welcome to Beyond the Blueprint, powered by Contractors, Closers, and Connections, Orlando. Join me for in-depth interviews with some of the top commercial real estate and development executives in the industry. We uncover their success stories, their strategies, and their lessons learned along the way. Gain valuable insight whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. Beyond the Blueprint, I'm your host, Branson Bowen, and we are here with Chuck Hollis at Third Wave Development. Make sure you like and subscribe the video if you like this content and you want more valuable in the commercial real estate and development industry. So let's kind of get into, because another thing I wanted to do is not expose, but just kind of really be transparent of what development is from the backdrop, behind the scenes. So in your layman's terms, what is commercial development?
So commercial real estate development is a business model wherein we're typically taking either a site that has already been developed and we're trying to redevelop it, or a site that has never been developed and we're trying to, gain approvals in order to do so. Mm-hmm. So both have their own sets of complexities. And so working through those complexities on a schedule, obviously you have to get a piece of property under contract. It all starts with having a piece of property under contract with which you can work, right? So you have an idea, hey, I like this site, it's in the right location, it's got access, it's got all these different attributes that make it work for our particular use.
Sure.
And so working through that includes a multitude of different folks that, we work with, whether it's a broker, a landowner, municipality, engineers, architects, etc., and how to guide that site through a process to where it becomes a tangible or real project, or you have to decide at some point along the way that unfortunately we don't feel like this is going to work out, and being able to sort through that as quickly as possible.
Sure.
To get to either yes or no.
Right. So what would you say the biggest challenge in commercial real estate development is?
Oof.
The biggest. I know there's a lot. It's hard to name one.
Really the element of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of someone that owns a piece of property, whether that already has a building on it or if it's vacant land, and they want to sell it, and we think we may want to buy it, but we don't know a whole lot of things about it. Oftentimes, the time that it takes for us to figure all those things out is longer than what folks typically want to give us in order to do so.
Sure.
And then you have a scenario whereby, external forces, i.e. interest rates climbing at the rate that they have, insurance rates, climbing at the rate that they have, they completely change the analysis that you originally went into the deal with. And so managing that along with the public expectations of changing the built environment, which we take very seriously. We recognize that, these assets that we're, putting in service, they're going to be there for a very, very long time, and it's going to change the character of the community. And so how you manage all of those components simultaneously, I think it really kind of goes into it's a multifaceted answer, but that's really what it is.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Bryce Knuth of Insurance Office of America. As a contractor or real estate owner in Florida, you've likely experienced the impact of rising insurance premiums year after year. With the challenging insurance marketplace, having a specialist who focuses on your industry is critical now more than ever before. If you'd like a second set of eyes on your current insurance program or don't have a relationship with your current broker, please contact Bryce Knuth at 407-697-6944 via call or text, or email bryce.knuth@ioausa.com. Don't let rising insurance costs catch you off guard. Reach out to Bryce today. What would you say the biggest benefit from a professional or personal level of being in development would be?
For me, it is changing the built environment, doing so in a way that is conscious of what that looks like for the community, and gaining that input to where at the end of the day, everyone feels good about it, or, at least they feel like their voices was heard.
Sure.
And so that part is extremely rewarding in my mind.
Yeah. So last question before we get into rapid fire.
Yeah.
So if someone were to want to reach out to you or provide you with value, how do you go about sifting through who's worth the time, who's not worth the time, how can someone bring value to you, I guess, simply?
I'm pretty available.
Mm-hmm.
Our website, thirdwavere.com. You can get in touch with any of us, fairly easily. And so when we talk, let's talk about something substantive.
Sure.
Make the conversation interesting, and then the conversation will likely remain interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Right. All right. So we're going to get into rapid fire. So what's something that people do not know about you?
The next chapter of my life, post hyperactive involvement in the development business, I wanted to be a commercial fisherman.
There you go.
Running an offshore charter, and
out
so
of the Keys.
Pardon?
Out of the Keys?
No.
Okay.
Out of New Smyrna.
Okay.
And so it's a passion of mine, the ocean, and so not everybody, but it's probably not hard to deduce from my demeanor and the name Third Wave Development, that type of thing. So
you kind of make that connection. So who's your inspiration?
My kids, my family. I'm doing this. All of this is for them, and so if I do nothing else in life, I lead a path that they can be proud of. What's
something new happening in your life?
New happening in my life is I am starting to move toward, that path of sort of what's next, right? So my daughter's 14, my son's 16. My kids are going to be going off to college, and so I'm building a company that ultimately I intend for, succession planning and for the guys that are involved to one day run the company. And I have a whole nother world of cool things in my mind that I want to pursue.
Sure.
And so, moving toward that pursuit is something new that I've never thought I could possibly do.
So that kind of goes into the next question. What does success look like to you?
Success looks like to me what I had last weekend when my daughter caught mahi, which is one of my favorite fish. And so there's a lot, and that was we brought that to a restaurant and they made it for us, as a family.
We did that in the Bahamas. It was awesome.
It's the best way to do it, right? And so there's a lot packed into that. That means you found a partner, you had a family, you've, brought these, children along the way. You've passed on passions to them. Mm-hmm. They've been successful with those passions, and you're sitting at a dinner table eating, something that was caught, offshore by your daughter. And so that to me is actually a new definition of
Success.
success.
And it kind of ties into your passion of fishing too. So,
Correct.
yeah, that's awesome. So if you could describe yourself in 5 words, what would they be?
Determined, loyal, genuine, and happy.
That's awesome.
That's 4, but
Yeah. If you can ask or tell God one thing, what would it be?
really simple. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's been good.
Yeah. It seems like you've had a very organic transition. Third wave is there's not a question mark on that at all. I think that was absolutely.
That was one of those moments that you just kind of know that someone's looking out for you.
Yeah.
And encouraging you, toward a path that is right for you and the people around you.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see what Third Wave does in the future, and I'm sure we'll be closely watching. So I'm your host, Branson Bowen. This is Beyond the Blueprint. Make sure you like and subscribe for our next episodes. See you soon.